everyone, I'm back again with part 2 of this outfit of Amu's. So I already had this baggy short sleeve sweater, and I actually used this as my pattern because it was kind of in the same shape. You get a bunch of pieces of scrap paper and you're going to use this for drawing out your pattern. I pretty much just stenciled around my sweater. Tape your paper down. I put my sweater down on the paper and positioned it how I wanted to trace it, and then I pinned it down to my rug so that it wouldn't move while I'm tracing it. I pretty much just traced all around and outlined everything. And I actually improvised on the sleeves, so I drew a line halfway through because that's how wide my arms are actually going to be. The sweater's actually really oversized. So I'm going to stencil out the line of where the side is up to where my half mark is. Good enough. And then the same for the other side. Take out all of the pins. And I labeled it here. This is actually going to be the back. So now you're going to cut all along the outer line. Forget about the sleeves. You're going to improv on that later and make a different pattern for that. All you need to know is where the top of the shoulder is and where the armpit's going to be. So I have a little line there at my half mark that I put there before. And then looking again at my sweater, I realized that it was actually too long, so I went ahead and marked where I wanted to cut just to make it a little bit shorter. This jacket actually comes down to about where her waist is. Using a whole lot of scrap paper again, I put down a whole bunch of scrap paper on top of my back pattern and taped them all together, and I'm going to use these to draw out my front side patterns. I outlined the pattern that I just made, and this piece will actually be divided into my two front pieces. I arranged my sweater again so I can get an idea of what the pieces are going to look like. And I kind of want it to curve around like this. I'm just looking at a picture as a reference. And then same thing for the other side. I kind of measured how wide I made the front piece on one side is so I can match it on the other. So it's pretty much going to look like this, and I can cut out both pieces together. I don't need that middle half, I just need the two halves on the side. So this is pretty much what the patterns will look like when they're all put together. And now it's time for the sleeves. I measured out how long my arm is, and that's how long the sleeve's going to be. I put some more scrap paper down. And I'm not going to draw them straight across, I'm going to kind of draw them angled a little bit. And here I kind of made the mistake of measuring my wrists and cutting out just that size. I should have made it a little bit wider because it's a jacket and I'm going to have layers and I kind of need the extra room. It still fits, but it's a little bit tight, so put a little bit of extra inches there. Cut out the pattern. You're actually going to use this pattern twice because the sleeves are going to be the exact same thing, and I just marked where the top's going to be. Next is the pattern for the hood. Some more scrap paper, and I used a detachable hood from one of my jackets that I had. The hood pattern is actually going to be made out of 3 pieces, one for the right side, one for the left side, and one for a rectangular piece down the middle. I only drew out 2 pieces for the paper pattern, but when I'm doing the fabric, it's going to have 3 pieces for the hood. So this will be one side that I traced. I cut it out. Now for the rectangular piece, it's a little bit hard because obviously the hood is not in pieces. I had to pin down the hood and move it along the paper as I kept on tracing how the rectangle was shaped. One end is a little bit wider than the other side, very, very slightly. So I have to mark where the neck is and where the forehead is. And then I connect the dots and just draw a straight line. So I calculated how much fabric I needed by rearranging my patterns, and it looks like I'll be needing 2 yards of the pink fabric and 2 yards of the fluffy white fabric. I arranged my pattern how I wanted it. I actually just cut out one side for the back piece. You can do 2 pieces if you want to, just so it's a little bit thicker, but I only just did one. The fabric that I chose isn't exactly see-through, so it was okay that way. And then I cut out the piece for one side of the front. And then somehow in my messy room, where I'm kind of not surprised, I lost the other half of this pattern that I made, the other side. So I'm supposed to make another piece that looks just like this, but reversed. And I stenciled this one wrong too. So all I have to do is just flip it upside down and trace it that way. So I just had to make a few adjustments. And then for the sleeve, I traced this out, and the pattern has to be on the fold. Rearranging my patterns again. I only need a single layer of the rectangle piece for the hood. Trace it out, and then you have to mark where the neck and the forehead is also, or else you're going to forget. I did the exact same thing as I did as before for my second sleeve. Also has to be on the fold. With the fabric folded, you can trace out the side of the hood so that you have 2 pieces. So here are all of my pieces. I put 3 pieces of the body together and pinned it down. And then I took the sleeve piece and I measured from the point of the shoulder where the armpit's going to be. I'm going to mark that there. Obviously I'm not going to sew in that area because my arm's got to go through there. And I'm going to sew here for the sleeves. Now we're going to do the hood, and I'm just going to pin the rectangular piece from the forehead to the nape of the neck. And I'll do that for the other side too. So then it will look like this, and you're going to sew along the lines where you pinned. Now it's time for the fluffy white lining, and you're actually going to do exactly what you did with the pink fabric. It's just going to be the same thing. Trace it, cut it, and I'm actually going to leave that 5 inches of extra fabric at the bottom because I'm going to fold that up to make the white trimming around the outside of the jacket. So here's the pink side when it's sewn on the sides and on the shoulders, and I'm going to turn it inside out and make sure that the white layer can fit inside. This is going to be the secondary layer, or the lining technically. And then same thing like for the pink fabric, you're going to make 2 of the front pieces, and just like how I did with the other white piece, there's going to be an extra 5 inches of white fluffy fabric that's going to be on the curved edge so that I can fold it over so it can make the white trimming on the outside of the jacket. And of course I made the same mistake twice. Don't do what I did. I was supposed to flip that one paper pattern piece over so that it would be reversed. Otherwise the fluffy piece would be facing the wrong way when I sew it all together. And for the hood, you're going to do the same thing as you did for the pink fabric. You're going to make 2 of them by folding over the white fabric. The thing about the fluffy fabric is that one side is the wrong side, one side is the fluffy side. With the pink fabric, it didn't really matter, so you have to make sure that you do this right. Unless if you have extra fabric, then you can do that. Also leaving that extra 5 inches there. And you'll sew the body just like how you did with the pink fabric, along the sides and along the shoulder, leaving an arm opening. Do the same thing for the fluffy white fabric as you did with the pink fabric. The only difference is that you're going to have those extra 5 inches of extra fabric. going to line all of the pieces of the white fluffy fabric all together, taking into account all of the 5 inches of fabric that you have in random places. Don't sew over that, you need that to be hanging loose because that's going to fold over the pink fabric, and just sew all the pieces together like how you did for the pink fabric. And here's how the fluffy layer is sewn and looks like together, and then here is how the pink layer is sewn together. Line the 2 pieces up so that they fit each other. The white fluffy fabric should be on the inside, the pink fabric should be on the outside, and the 2 wrong sides should be touching each other. It's easier to line up all of the seams and then pin everything together. Now that the pink fabric is attached to the fluffy fabric, now we can take the extra 5 inches that has been hanging off and fold it over so that it makes the furry trim around the edges. And now for the fuzzy cuffs, just measure your wrist and double it and make it flare out a little bit. You're going to make 2 of these and you're going to fold over the ends so that it doesn't fray. So the ends have been sewn so that they don't fray, and I'm going to turn it inside out and hand sew it to the end of the sleeve. So here's what it'll look like, and you'll obviously do that for both sleeves. So you can fold the fuzzy cuff over the pink. Position the sleeves. Pin the sleeve around the armhole evenly and then sew around there. Now it's time for the black markings on the back of the jacket. I'm going to trace out where I want my black stripes are going to be. I measured out how long it was from my wrist to the hood on the sleeve, and I measured that out on this black cotton fabric that I got from the store, and then I marked it and then cut it out so that I can hand sew it onto the jacket. So what I'm pretty much going to do is hand sew all of my black pieces on. It's just a matter of cutting out and measuring out all of the pieces. And this actually might take a while. I kind of just wanted this video to be 2 videos long to make this whole outfit, but I'm running out of time, so I'm going to make a 3rd video so I can finish this pink jacket for you guys. I tried to squish as much as I could in the last video and in this video, but I don't want to kind of breeze through all of the directions, so that if you wanted to make this, you wouldn't be able to because you can't follow. So if there's anything that's going too fast, you can always go on YouTube and make the videos slower. But yeah, I'll be making the next video, so check that one out, and I will see you in the next video. Bye!